number 8.
The 7th pick in the draft belongs to the Detroit.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So today is the day that I've been waiting for essentially a year, man. Today is the day where I hope that my Detroit Pistons faded for Cade, sucked for Suggs, or ended it for Evan Mobley. I guess that last one's kind of dark. I don't really care, man. Regardless, today is the day, man. Now, years past, you know, the NBA draft lottery has not been too kind to my favorite team, the Pistons. But just something about today just feels a little extra crispy, man. Speaking of extra crispy, over on my second channel, Extra Crispy, I will be doing a blind NBA draft lottery reaction. That means as soon as the draft lottery turns on, I will be turning off my phone, I will be turning off my TV, I will be turning off everything, and I will then be waiting until, you know, the draft lottery is uploaded to YouTube, and I'll be reacting to it on my second channel, Extra Crispy. You guys are going to see a blind reaction, my 100% first time seeing a genuine reaction, man. It's going to be absolutely crazy, right? So, yes, before we get going on this video, if you guys don't mind dropping that like, 1,000 likes is always the goal, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. So the way we are going to be handling this video is, you know, the Detroit Pistons, my favorite team, they have a chance at picks 1 through 6. So I'm going to be giving you guys my draft board, you know, based off 1 through 6. Like, these are the top 6 guys in order that I want. Now, I'm not necessarily like saying these are the top 6 guys in order talent-wise. I'm just saying that, you know, all of our teams have different needs out there. So you guys let me know in the comment section below what's your draft board looking like. Maybe you're watching this after the draft lottery, so let me know who you think you're going to get. Or just let me know who you want to get, like who's a realistic draft prospect for your favorite NBA team, man. So before we start talking about those 6 guys that I want, you know, I want to talk about who we already have as far as who we drafted last year. So the 2020 NBA draft for the Pistons, we got Killian Hayes with our, you know, first pick, 7th pick in the draft, I believe. And yeah, obviously he had a pretty slow start to the season. A lot of people were talking negative about him, but if you guys watched any Pistons basketball towards the end of the season, which I'm sure a lot of people probably did not, because why would you? Killian Hayes looked absolutely fantastic. Like, this guy's got elite passing skills. He's got the, you know, the NBA body frame. He's got the, I really think he essentially has the potential to be a really great perimeter defender overall. And obviously the offense needs to get there. That will come in time. But as far as the point guard spot goes, I'm like actually cool with Killian at the point guard spot. But also what I love about this Pistons team is that we have a lot of guys out there that can play multiple positions. So, you know, if there's a case to get like a Cade Cunningham or somebody like that, I'm actually totally cool with doing like a double point guard backcourt, having Killian at the 2 spot because he has the length to do that. Obviously for that to work though, he really has to work on the jump shot, right, man? We also got Isaiah Stewart in the draft last year. I mean, this guy straight up was one of the sleepers of the draft, man. Like, he made all-rookie second team. Just a good hustle player out there, man. Just a guy you can put out on the court. You know he's going to give it 110% every single night. So right now we have Mason Plumlee, Isaiah Stewart. So as far as drafting like a center like Evan Mobley, you know, there's some things to be said about that because, you know, I do think Isaiah Stewart could have like that Montrezl Harrell type of factor to him where he could just be like a big bundle of energy type of 6-man off the bench and have great success doing that. So I have no issues with that if that's what it comes down to. And then obviously, you know, a guy that I think personally makes, you know, the Pistons draft lottery that much extra important is Saddiq Bey, because for me, you know, when you guys are going to see with my draft board, there's 1 through 3 guys that I absolutely want. After that, it gets a little bit more confusing. That's because of Saddiq Bey and how great he is. There's a lot of good, like, forwards in this draft, and right now, the Pistons have the rotation of Saddiq Bey and Jeremy Grant. So I'm like, we don't really need one of those dominant forwards out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes. So here we go. Picks 1 through 6 in order of who I want on the Detroit Pistons. Let me just say I want to be extra happy if we get picks 1 through 3. After that, I'll probably get a little salty, man. I'll probably be a little salty if we don't get a top 3 pick. But with the first pick in the 2021 NBA draft, I would like the Detroit Pistons to select Cade Cunningham, man. So straight up with Cade Cunningham, I do think he is the game changer of this draft class right here. As far as his player comparison, what I was reading about was actually Grant Hill. So that would just be so much, you know, justice for the Pistons who once had a great Grant Hill. Now, Grant Hill, when he was first in the NBA, people were saying that he could have been the next Michael Jordan. Obviously, he had severe injuries, and yeah, his career was never really the same. Still had a pretty decent career, all said and done and everything, man. But getting Cade Cunningham on the Pistons would just be a game changer. It gives us that franchise guy, and that's who the Pistons are missing right now. They have so much just like good, solid guys, but they need that give the ball to, franchise, build around man, market around type of player, and that is Cade Cunningham. Now, in college, he averaged 20.6 rebounds, 4 assists per game, can literally do everything out there. This is one of those cases where, due to his height and everything, I'm totally cool with running the double backcourt with Cade Cunningham and Killian Hayes. I would have zero issues with that whatsoever, man. Okay, so the next guy that I actually really want, and he's actually moved up my draft board. I didn't have him this high before, but that is going to be Jalen Green. The Pistons, I look at what they absolutely need, and the one spot really is a shooting guard. Now, they got guys like Diallo out there that I think they're going to re-sign that could be pretty solid shooting guards going forward. But, Jalen Green to me is the, just absolute bucket getter of this draft. He is, the Bradley Beal, the guy that a few years down the road, we can be like, this guy's competing for like NBA scoring titles and stuff like that, man. So, last year in the G League, I believe it was, he averaged 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals per game. And as far as his player comparison that I was reading about, they were saying shades of a young Ray Allen. Damn. Zach LaVine, Kelly Oubre, or like a Ben McLemore to give a more lesser type of role. Now, obviously, that's also a pretty good like ceiling floor type of thing. So, ceiling young Ray Allen, floor Ben McLemore. Hopefully, it's the closer to the top, right, man? But even like a Zach LaVine comparison is really good too. Extremely athletic and knock down the three-point shot. I mean, exactly what Detroit needs, personally speaking, man. So I would be extremely happy if we got Jalen Green with, getting the second pick in the draft, assuming the first team takes Cade Cunningham, right? And then with the third pick, okay, now we get to the point where it's like, all right, you guys start looking at, like, talent and not so much like team fit, because those top two guys are guys that Detroit could actually use positional wise, I could say. But number 3 for me is going to be Evan Mobley, man. I'm actually really big on Evan Mobley. I actually am intrigued by the idea of him running the power forward position, kind of playing out there like maybe like a Toronto Raptors Chris Bosh, or giving him really high ceiling, man, the way that Anthony Davis runs power forward for the Los Angeles Lakers. I like the idea of him at the position. I know he's listed more as a center, but, between him and Isaiah Stewart, both those guys can actually shoot the 3 ball. Evan Mobley is a guy that can put the ball on the court and everything. Like, he can really do everything. I mean, I think the Chris Bosh comparison is actually really good. But, last year in college, he averaged 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. And, he could really be, really a top defensive inside guy in the NBA, man. So, because as far as putting him at center, then it's like, okay, I'm actually okay with that, too. The thing about him running the power forward, though, is that it gives the Pistons really good length. You're looking at a team of, Killian Hayes, Saddiq Bey probably running shooting guard. The dude's like 6'8" already, so that's pretty crazy within itself. Jeremy Grant at the 3, Evan Mobley at the 4, Isaiah Stewart at the 5. Or like I said, you trade away Mason Plumlee and use Isaiah Stewart as a 6-man, and that's completely fine. You can still run those tall ball lineups. But overall, man, like we get Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham, I will be ecstatic, man. Those are the top 3 guys I absolutely want in Detroit. And, they were saying he was like a Chris Bosh. The other player comparison was maybe like a better mobile LaMarcus Aldridge. So, yeah, definitely not bad comparisons whatsoever. Alrighty, the next guy on my list, I feel like he had to be in the top 4 just because of, like, the potential talent I see with him. Definitely not a guy that's like ideal alongside Killian Hayes, but I'm going to say Jalen Suggs is number 4 on my list, man. We fall down number 4 and end up with a guy like Jalen Suggs. You got to be completely happy about that. I just look at his style and the way he plays the game, and with Jalen, you just kind of see like that. Okay, well, there's your franchise point guard for the next 10 or 15 years. He's just really that good, man. His player comparison was, Jason Kidd / De'Aaron Fox, so definitely somebody that can do a multitude of things, has a lot of good quickness out there, and will just be a really solid point guard in the NBA. Now, if we did not have Killian on the team already, he would probably be even higher on my list. Probably top 2 or 3, no doubt, man. But, Jalen Suggs, not ideal positional-wise, but getting the 4th pick, you're still getting a really, really good player. Who knows, man? I mean, sometimes when you have those young players like a Jalen Suggs and Killian Hayes competing for the actual point guard spot, it's going to bring the most out of both of them, and you can really see who lives up to the challenge, and if not, it's like you got pretty good trade bait with the other guy, right? So, really not that big a deal. And then after this, I ain't gonna lie, man, like, there's some guys that I want, but there's other guys that, once again, I'm kind of focusing more on team fit. For my 5th, this might be a bit of a reach right here, but positionally speaking, I really like the idea of him, and that is Moses Moody. 6'6" shooting guard, 7-foot wingspan, average 17.6 rebounds per game. His player comparison was Glenn Rice. So, yeah, once again, you guys can see at that 2 spot, I'm really looking for a shooting guard we can just give the ball to, can create his own shot, play off Killian Hayes, and just really bring some offense to the Detroit. And that's going to be the same with my number 6, and that's going to be James Bouknight, who is just like a solid offensively, defensively gifted type of shooting guard. Averaged 19 points per game. His player comparison that I was reading was Jordan Clarkson. So Jordan Clarkson obviously was 6th man of the year, and just somebody that can get buckets yet again, right, man? So, outside of that, I mean, my honorable mentions, nothing too intriguing right here, but you look towards some of the forwards like a Jonathan Kuminga or a Scotty Barnes. Both guys, you know, dominant for different reasons. Have that be just, I believe, like a Scotty Barnes is like a good like 3-level scorer when it came to college ball, and then Jonathan is just kind of like that extremely athletic player that you can see at that athleticism. And if it translates into the NBA game, can take a team to the next level. It's just, once again, not absolutely like positions of need in Detroit. Then you also have like Keon Johnson too, who I think can be a really solid shooting guard. I mean, it was really a 3-way tie between him, Moses, and James as far as like, okay, what shooting guards do I want on this team? But there we have it, man. Those are the top 6 guys with some honorable mentions in order that I want personally in Detroit. Well, let me know what you guys all think. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.